The Regents podcast. The Regents podcast. Hello.
Welcome back to the Regents podcast. We are so appreciative you guys are here.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
This podcast I listen to, they do the exact same intro every time. And I can't decide if I love it or I don't like it. Like every podcast I listen to, everyone is like the very beginning is like the exact same. And I'm like, is there something that it scratches my brain where it's so like, I know what to expect?
I know it. Yeah.
I'm almost like maybe it's worth getting really consistent, but I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you think. Do you like the spice of life variety of our intros, or would you prefer it to be a little bit more like, welcome back to the Regents podcast. I'm Ellyn.
And I'm Aja.
But that part is consistent. Two best friends.
It is. We get who quit our jobs to pursue our passions.
Follow along with the podcast.
We get to it. We always get to it.
We always get to it. We just don't always start with that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it's our own thing, okay? It's our own thing. Yeah. Comment if you like a consistent podcast opening or if you kind of like the random nature and then us falling into the actual intro
topic and
and the topic. Well, hello. Another day, another podcast. We hope this podcast finds you well.
Yes. Amen. That was so sincere.
Yeah. Well,
we really do hope you're well.
I really hope you're well. If you're listening to this, I hope you're well. And can you Venmo me $20?
And if you are well, let's test that out.
I've seen that on TikTok. Sometimes people will just be like, just Venmo me. Like if you see, or like driving on the road or like bachelorettes or something. And it's just like, oh, Venmo us, for shots for the bachelorette. Or like if you're driving on the road and it's like, Venmo me so I can get my brake light fixed. Because obviously you can see I need to get my brake light fixed. Like all that kind of stuff. People do crazy things for like, just Venmo me.
I can believe it. That is not far-fetched to me at all. But it's so funny that you mentioned that particular TikTok because it is right on theme.
It's like I knew what we were going to talk about.
Look at how smooth she is, guys. She's so freaking smooth.
Operator.
Yes, Sade.
That's my favorite podcast. That's my favorite Formula One driver. That's his nickname.
Smooth operator?
Mm-hmm. Carlos Sainz.
Oh, okay. I like that.
The love of my life. The reason I'm learning Spanish.
She's heavy on the Duolingo.
Heavy.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Well,
sorry. Hello.
Ladies and gents, we are here.
Ladies
and now we're going to insert, right.
Guys, I was just giving Aja the rundown of like stuff I experienced on the cruise that I went on. And there's a whole thing about this cruise director and the ladies and gents that he would always introduce his announcements that way. So maybe I'll have recorded my ladies and gents commentary by then and I'll just insert a clip here.
You have to see
my
it.
Lanta.
Ladies and gents, at every time. Ladies and gents, please pardon this interruption. I couldn't explain what that accent was. It was amazing. Every time he went on, I was like cackling, laughing.
And I hope that man sees it. I hope that he's brought here from Norwegian Cruise Lines. Okay.
Imagine someone
Ellyn enjoyed.
Hey, you know what? My reach is surprising because I made a TikTok once about this really hot Formula One mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Just the camera panned in front of a garage for one of the teams. I was like, wow, that guy's really hot. Wow, the cameraman's really focusing on him. That's crazy. God, I just love Formula One. Like it was that kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
And the TikTok reached him.
What?
And he like DM'd me and was like, hey, thanks. That's like really kind of you to say. And we kind of struck up like a friendship, like a Formula One friendship.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Isn't that wild?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh
and he's like, oh, the guys in the garage are like jealous. Like nobody else has been called out like that.
Of course not. Wow,
I was
that's
like,
so cool, girl.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Like you post stuff.
That.
You post stuff and you never think anyone's looking at anything.
Right.
So, cruise
Oh,
director for
wow.
the Norwegian cruise line, Joy. Let us know if you see this.
So today's topic is actually going to be a very fun, vulnerable, real one. It's about the money mindset. So important,
Yeah.
right? And we're gonna kind of dive into some things about finances as entrepreneur, but not the boring stuff. We're really gonna hit you from a place of being real on, where we are, our mindset and perspective on finances. We'll hit you with a couple of games because we like to keep it spicy and fun, and just kind of get honest about money as entrepreneurs and how we're navigating this whole thing.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Money is messy,
Right.
and can be also like a deeply
Can be
personal and emotional
personal,
thing.
emotional.
It's very
Yes.
personal. So there's a lot of stuff that it's not just the idea of like what's in your bank account. There's a lot that goes
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, right. It's the different things that maybe you grew up with thinking about money, and how different things were instilled within you from maybe
Oh
your
yeah.
parents or your guardian, like whatever. Financial insecurities and how that shows up, maybe you were financially insecure in your youth, or your guardians were, and now you approach it differently. Maybe you're super wealthy now, but you still act as though, like, it could be a lot of things. So we're just gonna tap into it a little bit in our short time that we have you here today.
Yes.
But we thought it's so poignant. It's always relevant. Like, everybody's out here trying to make $1. Okay. So, so yeah, we're going to get into it. I guess we'd like to start with where we are, just kind of like bird's eye view of our idea of finances as entrepreneurs. Because if you're new here, we are two best friends who quit our jobs, okay, to pursue our passions. And we did that from a very different point. Like, I planned for like a year and a half on my exit because that is who I am at my core. And Ellyn was like, she had the idea. She was thinking about it for sure. And we were kind of vibing out on that. And then she was just like, you know what? I'm outie.
Yeah.
Peace. Okay.
Yep.
But where we are now, like 2 years, we're heading into 2
That's
years.
crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
really
said
wild.
that. Wow. Okay. That's weird.
It's
So,
really wild. It's coming up.
It is for you very soon. Yes, it is. Maybe by
Nuts.
the time this episode airs, actually.
Who can say?
Who's to say? But yes, we're coming up into 2 years of entrepreneurial ventures for each of us. And we've gone through a lot, we've seen a lot, we've experienced a lot, and we're still learning a lot. So Ellyn, would you like to start on maybe just your overview of where you are and your
Yes.
ideas?
And I think like you said, like I think a lot of like, where you've come from can impact where you are, where you're going, or how you're getting there. And I think a big thing for me was always to, be financially secure and have that paycheck. So that's why it took a lot for me to consider the reality of not having that stable paycheck, because that was so
Speak on it.
important and it was almost like a part of my identity of like, I have a stable job. I make good money. I achieved the dream and the path that was set before me. And, I think you kind of come to realize, and I think, people that have like big, rich, famous celebrities, whatever, they, people who want to be honest about money will tell you, even once you get every dime and every dream of money, stability comes true, like it actually doesn't bring you happiness. And it actually isn't, it can be the catalyst. It can help you and provide for a lot of things, right? It can bring joyful experiences. But if you haven't really like gotten right with your relationship with money and finances and wealth, etc., then you may always be kind of coming from like scarcity mindset, or feeling like guilty now that you're financially free, and maybe you didn't come from that experience. So for me personally, it was always very important to be financially stable and know where the money was coming from. And there was a part of me coming up in a career that felt actually very insecure about that because I would see so many people get laid off all the time.
Mm.
Excuse me. And that was very concerning because I always just felt like if you only have a single source of income, that someone can take that away from you. That's not something that you're walking away from, that they're taking from you. And I got,
Yeah.
thankfully, actually never was laid off as a part of any of the layoffs at any company I've ever been at. So very grateful for that. Also, testament to myself as an employee. Can't lose me.
Wow.
Hard worker. No.
Yes.
It's honestly at the end of the day, a lot of layoffs really are. If anyone ever, because some people I hear have referred to it as like, oh, I was fired. You're not fired. Being laid off is not being fired.
No,
And
it's not. Yeah.
at the end of the day, it really is just a balance sheet, and what your salary is plus what his salary is equals what they need to cover. So goodbye.
Exactly. So
It's
sorry.
so like, it is so rarely. It is sometimes specific to the person, but it is rarely like specific. Anyway, off topic. I feel like now, and I think we've spoken about this, is like I am in a place where like, the ebb and flow of the business that we're in, of the solopreneur entrepreneur, I was so used to being in a consistent paycheck, but watching my industry have, the high seasons and the low seasons. So, that finances are cyclical, or there's high seasons and low seasons for every business. But now that I am the business and there are high seasons and low seasons, dealing with that and kind of squirreling away what you have to deal with the low seasons and the high seasons, and making really smart financial decisions for yourself, and being really conscious of the fact that I don't want to live in a place of fear and a place of lack. And I have to believe, and I know, and this is a truth I've seen time and time again, when I start to be like, I need something to come through, and I'm like asking the universe, asking God, asking whatever power to, send something my way, because I could really use something, right now. That usually happens. And so I feel like currently right now I'm in this headspace of like, it's been a weird start to the year in general for me, but then just a quiet business start. So I'm like, now is the time. I am ready to receive that random email out of nowhere. I'm ready to receive a text from a friend who says they have a person who needs this from me, and I am always open to receiving, but I am also someone who like will give freely, if someone's like, oh, I have a friend that just like wants like to talk for like a half hour because they don't know what to do. They're at a crossroads from a business perspective, I also kind of pour out.
Pour it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Like not in a way that's like taxing exactly on me, or where I'm like losing, it's a negative. But I do pour it back because I believe, what goes around comes around, and like, if you give, you will get. So that's kind of where my head's, that again, and again, that comes back to that like abundance. And that comes back to that, not fear, but less so like not being fearful. And also, I've said this to you, I felt like I was making good money and I wasn't spending it and enjoying it when I was making the good money. I was just kind of existing. So if I could maybe be a little bit in a different place financially for myself now, but I feel the way that I feel about myself, about my life, I feel much better. I feel more optimistic now than I did when I was making, good money. So, that's also something that I'm not willing to give up, and it does feel invaluable. So that's kind of where my head's at. I'm curious what you're thinking about financially.
You started this off perfectly by saying for years, financial security and stability was super important to you. And that totally resonates with me because that is why I hadn't pursued full-time musicianship before.
Yeah.
It was very I guess intimidating to me for at this moment, for lack of a better word, because I was just like, I'm used to a steady paycheck with these jobs. They don't really have anything to do with what I really want to do, but at least I know, I can live my life and,
Mhm.
do things and pay my
Mhm.
bills and all that type of stuff. And that got old,
Yeah.
you know? And so for me, I think this whole season of entrepreneurship has been God working on me, always working on me, obviously, but changing my
Mm.
mindset around finances and what do I value? You know what I mean? So it's like I had to you can plan, you can only plan so much, like you mentioned, you scroll
Yeah.
away for the slower months and all that type of stuff. But also, if you feel called like I feel and you feel like you're in your purpose, are we doing this for the money? Obviously, we have things to live for and all of that.
Mm.
Like we have to pay bills and live. Understood. But also don't put your worth in the finances or whatever. And changing it's really made me dig into my faith a lot
Yeah.
more, which I'm grateful for because I think a lot of times as employees, I can speak for myself, there was a lot of false financial security in a paycheck. There is no security in a paycheck.
Mm-mm.
I feel strongly about that. Talk to me offline about that. I'm not going to come for the corporations, but whatever.
But yeah.
um, but here we are.
Mhm.
So, like it was having a conversation with myself and taking that leap to, go full time in music to just be like, well, first of all, you're already not secure. Like, yeah, it's been steady and thank God for that. But you need to move in your purpose.
Mhm.
Maybe you've plateaued here because and I don't really think I did. I think I left corporate when I was on the precipice of like
Yep.
next leveling again.
I think that
Um
that's a good point. Like, it's almost like you were presented with, like, keep going this, like,
yes.
get further entrenched into this.
Absolutely.
I felt
Yeah.
similarly. I felt like it was at
Yeah.
the crossroads of,
I think
like,
we were both
yeah,
like we weren't
if
at
we
our
don't
peaks by a long shot.
no, and if I don't
Right.
stop this now, or if I don't get off this
Yeah.
train now, it's gonna get harder and harder to change
For
it.
me mentally
Yeah.
to get out of this, right? I'm going to be so deeply comfortable and whatever
Yeah.
in what
So
this is
they
providing
call
me and
that the, golden handcuffs.
yes, absolutely. Right. Your salary is the amount that they pay you to give up on your dreams.
Oh!
So,
Oh!
um
Oh my god.
oof,
Oh god,
right.
say it again for the seats in the back. Oh my goodness.
Your salary people could be
Could be. Could
the
be.
amount that they pay you to give up on your dreams, to quiet the
Mm,
things that really call your heart.
yeah.
Um, and so and I think that's what makes entrepreneurship so fun in my
Mm,
mind because it's like, it's not easy. Okay. But you get to be so deeply introspective and aware of like how you are really going through life building your business and all of that and it
yeah.
it will it will show you you
Yeah.
know so I'm so grateful for that and that's kind of like where I am today. Like right now I know offline we were having this conversation about like moving forward and getting past certain obstacles financially or whatever and navigating slower seasons and stuff like that. But really, it's like I feel like I'm in this super hopeful stage because there's just so much more to be created
Yeah.
financially. And that brings me to our next point. I love this quote that I found. It says, "Fear is not a stop sign. It's an invitation to examine what you value." And
Mm,
so for me, and especially in these past few months, it's just like what exactly am I valuing?
yeah.
I'm doing the thing, I'm living the dream, living my dream. And obviously there's so many things that I want to accomplish and all of that. But when you put so much faith or weight on the amount of money or comparing what was to where you are now, you get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of what Ellen and I want to focus on today is the money mindset. Like
Yeah.
changing your mindset. If you're listening to this podcast and maybe you're a new entrepreneur or you already have a side hustle, or you're thinking about taking a
Yeah.
leap or something like that, just know that it's all about your mindset because
Mhm.
no matter what, like even the time is going to pass and the things are still going to happen. Like the
Yeah.
tariffs were going to happen whether we had a job or
That
not.
is
Like,
such a true statement. It's like it's so like gray, but it is such a true, like time will pass and things will happen. That will
yes,
continue to happen for the rest of your life.
the
It's whether
rest.
you're enjoying the time passing and the things happening,
Yeah,
or if you can
right.
withstand the things happening financially, whether they're good or
Yes,
bad. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Because
And I
even if
think
you
we
are in a
can,
career,
mhm,
you might be in a place where I was making good money, but I was just existing with that money. I wasn't really creating like a life that was a thriving life. You know what I mean? I was
yeah,
paying rent. I was going to work. I was ordering takeout all the time, and
mhm,
and paying for all of my streaming platforms. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
and Kindle Unlimited. Like it just wasn't the version of living. So like, yeah, like maybe if you're fearful right now at that stop
mhm,
sign of like, I'm making all this money and I'm living this life, but I just don't feel fulfilled. Maybe it's like, maybe you don't need to become a solopreneur. Maybe you don't need to stop your job. Maybe you like your
right.
career. Maybe you just
That's,
need to
yeah,
figure out a way to create a structure for your life to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to enjoy the money that
mm,
comes in, because maybe you've been conditioned or you were raised in such a way where like enjoying your
mhm,
money and
yeah.
what you've done and what you've created in your life is a foreign concept.
Right, right. That's so good. And I think one of the biggest things that I want to say in the past like 5, 6 years, I read this book by Carol Dweck. It's called Mindset, I believe, but it
Mm-hmm.
talks about abundance mindset versus scarcity.
Mm.
And that alone is a topic that you could just go on and on about all the different things, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
super relevant when talking about, finances, because that's where you really kind of tap into, as a solopreneur especially, not just an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, um where you are and how you're going to build your business and continue your solopreneurial, efforts and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Are you going to, in a slower season, are you going to harp on the fact that it's slow, or am I going to try to really kind of dig in and like go after the things that have been, in the back of my head to do or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
take different leaps within your business,
Yeah.
to create, different like springs of money or whatever it might
Yeah.
be. And I think that's really the crux of it all, is like assessing your mindset and staying on top of that. And something for me that has really helped is journaling.
Mm.
When I find myself in a thought loop about, like either worrying too much about the finances and not sticking true to, like the purpose behind it all, or the
Yeah.
creativity of it all, and the gratefulness of it all. It's like, all right, well, let me just get out all the things that are just in my mind about that,
Yeah.
and just focus, do what I've been told I should do.
Yeah.
So that's been a thing for me. Like, what kind of helps you, I guess?
I think that that's a really good point. It's just like getting thoughts out of your head. And sometimes I don't lean on that tool as often as I should.
Hmm.
Because when you do just like write something down, it becomes real in a way that it's a problem or an issue or a thought that's on paper, and it's like a thing outside of your head, and it's a physical manifestation of the thought. And so
Yeah.
then it becomes more manageable
Hmm.
because it's not this nebulous idea that your brain keeps looping back to. It's like, oh, it's on paper. It's a real thought. It's a real thing. And I don't know how to explain why that means something so much, but it does.
Yeah,
I
it does.
think for me, I kind of feel like I'm in this in between of like knowing like you need to hustle and you need to do things, but also like not wanting to be like asking people for money in a way, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like hustle, but I'm like, that's business. And so it's like, Ellen, if you would do it for your company when you were working and like hustling and like pitching and doing all that silly things, then like do it for you. Like you've got to just
Yeah,
find a way to like get away from feeling weird about like drumming up business.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what
So
you do.
that's literally exactly. So it's like, entrepreneurialism isn't exactly like a lean back kind of a role. So
Right,
you've got to
right.
really be leaned in and be willing to do the
Yeah.
thing that even makes you
Sheryl
uncomfortable.
Sandberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lean all the way in.
Lean
Lean so
all.
far forward that you fall out of your seat. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like that's how deeply invested in yourself and your work and your future you have to be. And I think you said 2 years we've been on this journey, and I have definitely learned so much about myself. And I feel like I'm kind of in this season of like, I absolutely want multiple like streams of income. Because I didn't like that feeling of working at a job where they could take it away from me.
Yeah.
So the idea that like I'm in an entrepreneurial situation where I drum up business with different clients, but that type of work is this pillar. And then this other type of stuff that I do over here is another pillar. So I feel like the idea for me to set up I'm thinking a lot about just like the different pillars of the business, so that whenever there's a slow season for one, hopefully the other ones will keep things set. And that also includes like, I'm very, very new and green to like even investing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I was making like steady money, I did start investing because I was like, do something with it. Like, unfortunately ChatGPT didn't exist at the time, or else I would have really like learned how to do investing. But I've got, I'm the set it and forget it girl. You buy the good stuff and just let it go there. So nothing's really happening there, but I feel good knowing that I've done something different.
Right. For my future.
Capital gains taxes be damned. At least there's money somewhere with my name on it, even though I can't touch it and can't use it and it's not liquid.
Right.
That's how I feel about my 401k. I'm like, it's mine, but it's not.
But not really. Okay.
I can't have it. It's mine though. I did that. Ugh, just save your money, put it into a bank account and invest it. I don't know. Anyway, this is not a financial advice podcast.
It is not.
Start with that. Okay. So let me get to that. Let's just put that disclaimer. We're saying it now. I'm going to copy and paste this and put this at the beginning again.
Put in a blinking like
just a big blaring. This is not that. This is not that.
This is not that. We are here.
Yeah.
To talk to you about the mindset it takes, because we're actively going through the throes and, the highs and the lows and all the in-betweens of entrepreneurship. So we're here to address like the money mindset and the shifts that we've made, things that are working for us. And hopefully, they'll help you. But that was a practical tip, Ellyn, that you just mentioned about having different pillars. And, the mindset that one has when you're an employee and you have a side hustle, it's the same mindset as an entrepreneur with building different streams of income, maybe in your business. You know what I mean? And I know I talk a lot about like, oh, I'm building this different arm and all that type of stuff. And that's been like the focus of my year so far.
Yeah.
Is building out those different arms of my business for that sole purpose, to be a multifaceted empire in the making. So it's just so important to to keep that the drive. And it's hard sometimes, of course, like because life be life in. All right. And and again, gonna happen whether you have a job or not. And I think there's like a very true point, and this is the beauty. Like you and I didn't start out as entrepreneurs. We didn't like leave college and hit the ground running with our businesses. So we know what it's like. We know the comforts of, working a job, and a good one, and making good money and all that type of stuff. And also being here where we are now. So as I mentioned before, life is still going to happen. Time's going to pass. And there's so many people who can relate. We've had, even when you have a steady paycheck, there are things that happen in life. And now the check that maybe you thought was so like, oh, I'm good, is not enough anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's just different things that happen, and it's a long game. It's an ever evolving type of journey. And it's important that we're checking in with ourselves to not let the circumstances or the financial circumstances kind of dictate how we build our business or how we treat ourselves, whether and assessing like what we're doing with the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And also, just the point of like, building a business, building wealth, building a future, like, you kind of said the words like, it's enough until it's not enough. And I think that comes around to also just like your feelings around money and like your feeling around
Yes.
like, well, when will it ever be enough? Right? And it's like
Yeah.
it is so much about how you feel about
Mm.
money and what is enough and what do I want to spend my money on, right? I almost think about
Yeah.
like, people say like, oh, you're being put on like a financial diet if you're trying to like work on paying off debt. People will like
Mm-hmm.
call it a diet, right? Where the very unhealthy terminology of
Interesting.
like a moment on the lips and it's forever on the hips, that very old school, very
I've
unhealthy
never heard
diet
that.
culture phrase. You never heard that?
No. No.
Oh yeah. It's like, it's the instant gratification of like, oh yeah, I want to have this. And then I have to like work out 10 times harder it's very unhealthy. But that's also how finances work, right? Like, okay, do I want to buy that $7 latte every day? Or am I trying to save up to buy property? And I'm not saying you should be buying property and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your $7 latte, but there is some kind of like very much like you have to be more like conscious of your decision making and what
Yeah.
this thing that I'm buying falls into, because making purchases and spending money, it gives you a dopamine hit. That's why people
Mm-hmm.
like to go shopping. So you
Right.
do have to be really cognizant of like, how do I create a dopamine hit from making money instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of buying, or like, I need a little treat. Like maybe you don't always need a little treat. You know what I mean? And I think a big part of being an entrepreneur and a business owner or somebody, it's like, I always say business owner, I'm like, I am the business. I own myself. I own myself. But like a big part of that is also like, what can you live with? What can you live without? What are goals that you have for yourself that are, you know, material goals, but also feeling goals, right? Like a feeling of financial freedom means what to me? Like what does that mean to me? Is that me buying a purse? Is that me being able to take care of a sick family member? Is
Yeah.
that me being able to travel? Like the thing that you buy or the thing you spend your money on is wholly up to you, what you determine valuable.
Right.
And, figuring out like what the goals are for your finances, I think also helps make those like immediate instant gratification purchases.
Mm-hmm.
You can be more conscious of what those are contributing to or taking away from.
Mm. Wow. Go ahead, Ellen.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, because I kind of see I see money and finances and spending and not spending.
Yeah.
It's very analogous to me as like dieting or eating healthy.
Mm.
It's like,
It is,
okay,
and I've never likened those two things like
yeah,
together, but
it's
that
like,
makes
okay,
sense.
my $7 latte every single day. It's like, okay, girl, are you really going to have Domino's pizza every day? Like, do you need
Right.
that? No, you don't. You want to
Exactly.
have it every once in a while and you should have it every once in a while. If that's something
Mm-hmm.
that you want to have in your life, you should be able to have that. But
Right.
is that contributing to the bigger goal
To your
of
goals.
financial
Exactly.
freedom or like body health? You know what I'm saying? It's like if you start
Right.
to kind of look at them in the same way, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay.
Not really.
Yeah. So it's like I can lean
Yeah.
on my, years of unhealthy diet culture experience, but I'm turning it to
But she's
um
flipping it all
I'm
around.
flipping it.
Okay? Flip it.
And then I'm going to charge people to learn about it through a course.
Right. Okay? Because she has spent hard
I
earned
literally
money and years.
imagine I literally just all the language and all of the things about food that I've learned, I just swap out like food and calories for like credit
Money
and
advice.
money. Like, oh,
Would
this
you
piece of the
invest in that?
pie, where are you going to spend your money? Like you used to eat Domino's and now you invest in the pie.
Right, right.
Wow.
Look at your
Wow.
pie chart of
The,
streams of income.
the blind leading the blind.
Oh my gosh. I
Oh, my
love
Lanta.
that. Oh, there's a lot in that and what you said. And so true that it's up to us what we value. That
Yeah.
is going to be relative to every single person, and how you spend your money or what is worth the money or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. And the same thing goes, whether it's like extras in your life, like the latte, or if it's something that's actually going to be beneficial, if it's an investment,
Yeah.
that you believe is going to be beneficial to your business, or to your health, which
Yeah.
also impacts your business, whether that be therapy or a program that you're investing in for the betterment of one of your pillars, of your empire.
100%.
Like all of those things are to be weighed and assessed, for value, for risk, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And to address that there is emotion behind it, but kind of like detach yourself from it,
Mm,
and make it just like a business decision. If it's, if that helps, maybe
yeah,
that helps people, if they're trying to overcome some type of like trauma with finances or whatever. I would imagine that it could help. Um,
for
but
sure.
yeah,
My
there's a
uncle used
lot
to
there.
call me, my uncle that recently passed, he used to call me positive cash flow when I was little
Hmm.
because I was always very good at like making money and saving money or like having like a birthday and then like
Aw.
putting it away and being like, I put all my money away or like,
I love that. He called you
yeah,
positive cash flow.
yeah,
Girl, you better harness
PCF.
that
I know,
energy,
right?
okay?
Positive cash flow. Yeah, my uncle Bill used to call me
Yes.
that. And
Aw. Shout out to Uncle Bill. Rest in
yeah,
peace.
he was my Aunt Carol's husband. See, I
Okay.
talk about people who are always in my
Yes.
corner. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
two of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I mean, like,
Right. Because he said
well,
she'll make it happen. She knows how to
yeah,
make it
she
happen.
knows how to make.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So,
And these are the things that we tell ourselves, and that's a mindset. I think that's so beautiful. I love that because that was something inherent in you. You were younger,
yeah,
but it was just like either something you learned or just something that's a part of your fiber of your being.
yeah.
And you can take that today. You know what I
You know
mean?
what? I need to tap into that because he saw it when
Yeah,
I was
that's so
young. He saw
nice.
that like entrepreneurial,
That's
money
really
make. Like I
cool.
used to go to work with my aunt when I was like hanging out with her. She worked at Hallmark. How fun is that? She worked
Wow,
at a Hallmark
amazing.
store with a candy section, like
Oh,
where you
a
could do
candy
it
section.
pay by weight candy
Oh, like by
section.
the pound?
Yes.
Oh,
And I would like
love
one for you,
those.
one for me kind of thing when I was
Yeah,
there. It
yeah.
was so much fun. But yeah, so I just think that I think he just was like saw something
Mm,
in me. So I'm leaning into it. Positive
yeah.
cash flow is back.
Positive PCF is
PCF.
back in
Hashtag
action.
PCF.
Yes, that's Ellen's new nickname on the
People are
show.
going to be like,
Great.
what does that mean? I'm
PCF.
like,
Is that
PCF.
is
Pacific
that a
Coast Freeway?
disease or
No. It's Pacific Coast Highway, first of all. Second of all,
Oh
PCF
gosh.
is a disease.
She has PCF. Oh no.
Well, you know how people say
God bless her.
like RBF? You know how people say
Oh
RBF?
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, she has PCF.
yeah.
Like, what
She
does
has
that
PCF.
mean? Oh
Ooh,
my
what kind of
God.
face does she
She
have?
makes a crazy, what is PC? Potentially crazy face?
Yeah. Watch out, because she got that PCF.
She's possibly crazy face. Oh, watch out.
Oh man, that
Probably
is so
crazy
good.
face. Actually, that's so funny. She's probably, oh my God,
She's probably
she's
crazy.
got PCF. Oh, is that
It's a
probably
dating
crazy face?
term, right? Checked out her profile, bro. She has PCF.
She has PCF written
Gotta
all
stay
over her.
away.
We're like, you don't even know.
Oh
Oh my God.
man,
Oh, yeah,
that is
yeah.
so good.
If you
Wow.
also suffer from PCF, no, PCF is a positive cash flow. It's a good thing. It's positive
Positive
mindset, people.
cash flow. That's right.
Yes.
Oof,
But it doesn't happen
child.
overnight. Money doesn't just
No, it
flow.
doesn't.
It doesn't grow on trees, although it is technically paper.
I know.
You
And it's a
know?
currency, so it ebbs and flows.
Yes.
There's, it's not something for us to tie our value, our
Mm-hmm.
self-worth, and all that type
Mm-hmm.
of stuff into. It's literally just a measure of
And if you were
work.
to lean into the millennial existentialism of the day,
Mm.
you would also be like, what even is money? Capitalism? What is even the point? Like everything's on fire. Does it even matter? And it's so funny because like
Mm.
I would say like you look at your credit card statement and then you look at your your bank account balance and you look at your other things and it's like it's all just numbers on a screen. It's
That's it.
so unreal and
Yeah.
intangible when you look at money that way. So it is
Yeah.
important to tie it to real things, whether it's things and material things are your thing, or whether it's a feeling, or whether it's experiences, or it's taking care of someone else, like whatever it is, it's important to be like, okay, that amount means this X, Y, and Z. That amount means I get to do this, or that amount I make when I get to this amount, because we talked about this, when I hit that certain number career-wise financially, I was like, I'll get there and this will mean this. And it didn't mean anything, or my meaning for it, my meaning for it changed over time. Right. So even having a number in your mind of like the bank account, if it hits this, then I'll feel X, Y, and Z. Like that's not necessarily tangible. So you need to start to create tangible things that you tie and tether.
Yeah, exactly.
Real
I love
things.
That's a practical tip. Okay.
So it's a practical, non-financial advisor financial tip.
Exactly. Right. To be like, when this equals this, that means that I can take my mom on that bucket list trip she's always wanted to go in for her life. Like any something like that. And I think that also makes it like a game, fun.
Yeah.
And
no, it's so true. That's so true.
And then you're not looking at it as like this daunting thing or whatever. Like you're just chipping away and something is on the other side. It's like a reward system.
It's like a reward. That's a TikTok sound. It's like a reward.
Oh my gosh. This is a TikTok head here. Okay.
I know. I like
a TikTok sound.
If only I could get paid for knowing so much about TikTok.
And you shall.
I will.
You will.
I will.
You certainly will. Wow. Speaking of TikTok, Ellen, how about we do some games?
Fun.
Yes. We're going to take it into a segment that we started at our 1-year anniversary of the pod. We like to laugh, if you couldn't tell. We love that. And we figured it'd be cool to kind of make this a more engaging, interactive, funny, show by making a little game out of some of the stuff that we're talking about. So, our first game, do you want to introduce our first game?
Surely. Okay, so our first game is called Buy, B-U-Y, or Buy, B-Y-E, like bye.
Bye.
Imagine I'm like, okay, you have to say bye, or bye. I won't do it.
Right.
All right. So essentially what we're going to do is we are going to talk about some real / hypothetical purchases that you could be possibly making. And you have to say, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to say whether you would buy it as it's worth it, it's justifiable, it aligns with our values, or buy it's a financial red flag, potentially an impulse purchase, or a money mindset trap. It's a trap.
Right.
I honestly feel like anyone saying, "Oh, it's a trap," like saying "trap" is like, that's like a real, like that's a like a it's
stop
a trap.
You in your right, like.
Oh my God, like I'm trapped.
I'll stop you in your tracks. Okay.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so Aja, I'm gonna give you some.
Okay, give me some.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Hey. Okay, guys, that's Beyonce.
Right, that's Beyonce.
Name the song. Okay. Name the song, Aja.
Partition.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
appreciate
you're
that.
Welcome.
We're gonna carry that game over from episode to episode from the anniversary.
Always a Beyonce game.
Like
okay,
one note. What song is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so would you B-U-Y buy it, or would you say buy to this purchase?
Okay.
A $75 candle named, I feel like you wouldn't if it was called this, but maybe if it was called, the name can be either or. Would you buy a $75 candle named either Abundance or Rich Bitch Energy? See, positive cash flow. That's what we're going to call the candle.
Positive cash flow.
Okay. Oh, actually, that's not a bad business idea. I start selling candles that I make while
Listen.
manifesting positive cash flow for you. And
This is the candle that
I put a coin at the bottom, and it's either like a penny, a
Lord.
dime, a nickel, or a quarter. And it's basically
Wow.
like, what are you manifesting, big or small? Oh my God. Would you buy? Would you purchase in my business?
No, girl. Oh. The answer is no.
I'm like making a business out of something you absolutely should not even be buying and investing
Like,
in.
don't even think about it.
No. Don't, girl,
No,
don't
I'm
do
so
it.
sorry
It's
to this
not
girl.
what- We're just overlapping memes.
At this point.
No, it's literally like, no.
It's literally like, no.
No, because honestly, that, like, I just came up with that as like a silly little business, but like, you know that exists somewhere in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could find it right now on TikTok or Amazon
100%.
and Walmart.
Well, you know, when I did that candle class, this is a legitimate thing. She would charge crystals every new moon, because people do that.
Oh.
People charge crystals in the moonlight. And she would charge them with the new moon and then sell batches of candles with the newly charged crystals inside the candle. So then when the candle burned away, you had this charged crystal, because people that enjoy crystal culture appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
And the intentionality of it all. But in my mind, you could very quickly flip that and be like, this is a quarter, and this quarter means you're going to be a quarter of the way ahead. You know what I'm saying? It could be crazy.
It's a dime. So that idea you had is a dime a dozen. Let it go. Don't do it.
Oh my God.
Could be anything.
And I charge like $10.25, and that's how you know you're getting the quarter. I'm like, nothing's
Well,
fine.
then there's no mystery. There's no mystery.
No, nobody knows it, but I know it.
But you know, it's either 10.10 or 10.25.
They're like, that's so weird. I paid $10.25 for this, and I got a quarter. Oh my God,
Right.
it's
Wow.
the synchronicity. Okay, so
It's
we both said no.
Nah.
Bye.
We said bye. Exactly. Yes. All right.
Oh gosh.
So, okay, here we go. This is for you, Ellyn. Would you purchase or invest in a $500 Become a Millionaire in 90 Days course?
Absolutely not.
Online.
No.
Thank you. Okay,
No.
praise God.
It is so bad that even exists in the world. I get so many ads about that kind of stuff on YouTube and TikTok, and it's like, if they were a millionaire if you could be a millionaire in 90 days, like, don't you think everybody would be doing it?
Everybody would be a millionaire, right?
Please.
90 days.
And that's how they market. But that's the thing is, like, they really do. They really trap people into these mindsets of like, you can get rich quick, and that's just not a real thing. You cannot just get rich quick. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be rich. Like, even this 90 days concept, right? Like, do you know how much work it takes to build? Like, I'm asking you, do you? I know. We all know.
Because you're building it, girl. You're on your way.
It's just it's unfortunate. And you know what? I do feel it is very predatory. That type of that type of business. These course people, and like, we're both people who have invested in ourselves in courses over our lifetime, right? Whether it was college, whether it's a more recent. I did something years ago. I still have the backpack swag to prove it. Like, investing in yourself with courses of some type, of any kind, whether it's a digital or a physical course, there is a time when that is a worthy investment.
Mm-hmm.
But something that's promising you something that seems too good to be true, I would say 10 times out of 10, it's too good to be true.
10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
This is silly. This is comical.
Very
Become
comical.
a millionaire in 90 days.
No.
Like, these people are trying to become a millionaire off of your ignorance.
Yeah. And they are. And that's the thing, is that they are.
Yes. Exactly.
And that's the problem. Like, I saw something, they're like, oh yeah, I made like this much money in this month doing UGC. And it's like, okay, doing UGC or marketing that you do UGC via a course.
Right, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're making money off of people who want to learn how to make money doing this thing. But you actually didn't
but
really
you're not
make a
doing
good
that.
income on this until you started shelling it out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
messy.
Ugh,
Okay.
messy. Okay.
Now,
All right.
another one. Buy or
Mm-hmm.
buy.
Okay.
Would you buy pay for therapy during a
Mm-hmm.
financially tight month?
I would say it depends
Okay.
because if you are maybe you're at like a low point, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you really need to like get out and get some advice or whatever it is from a person that you can trust.
Yeah.
Then you need to just spend the 50, 75, 250. I don't know, whatever that could
Yeah.
be for you. Yeah. But if you feel like, you know, I got this, I can journal or talk to a trusted friend or something like that instead, then skip it.
Yeah.
you know. So, I mean, it just depends. Mental health is important. It
Yes.
really, really is. So
Yeah.
you gotta know yourself and know what's really gonna benefit you. Like,
Exactly.
are you just worried about this amount of money? Because what even is money really?
Yes,
Or is
exactly.
it important that you take care of yourself and, help yourself, help yourself?
I agree. I also think that there's like people who do like therapy every week, people who do therapy once a month. Like if you're
Mhm.
an every week kind of girl and it's tough, yeah, maybe
Mhm.
back it to every 2 weeks or maybe back it to once a month
Yeah.
if you can manage that. But like I would never say just skip therapy
Right,
because
right.
you're good because you go.
Mhm.
Do you
That's
know what I
true.
mean? Like you're able to
Yeah.
stay even and you're able to manage life because you're going. It's like
Mhm.
when you stop going is when I think things can sometimes start to like, and again, not everyone's in therapy all year long for the rest of their lives,
Exactly.
but
Right.
I do think that like if you're in a season of actively going to therapy,
Mhm.
if you're financially stressed, now's not the time to
To skip it.
stop going to your emotional I look at like I kind of look at them all. Like I said, I liken everything to like the fitness and physical diet and everything. So like,
Mm.
if you're on a diet, dietitian, you're working out, personal trainer, you're going to
Yeah.
therapy, you've got your mental coach. Like
Yeah.
now they even have this company. It's I forget what they call it, the financial gym. And they have coaches for your finances. And it's like a woman owned business to like help you, like
Okay.
coaches for your fitness, right? So it's like if you're trying to train the muscle that is your brain to not be stressed when you're in a financially difficult situation, maybe cutting out on
Then
therapy
you
isn't the good. Yeah.
exactly. You need to prioritize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to be able to
Exactly.
handle when all the money comes in tomorrow and you have to
Mhm.
get all this work done and we're still working on the tools of how to manage stress? Like, it's like one of
Mhm.
those things where I'm like, I would err on the side of investing in therapy more than not.
Yeah. Right, right. That's a good point. That's a good point. And I do think it's all of what you said. You have to know yourself.
Yes,
Because
100%.
therapy is great. Everyone should try it.
Yeah.
For sure. And as you mentioned, it might not be something that you have to do like every season of your life for the rest of your life. But by knowing yourself and knowing, like what you're going through or whatever, and maybe you're recently on a good foot, stick with it
Yeah.
so that you can really get on a good foot, like in all the different times and
Mm,
trials and tribulations and stuff. So
agreed.
yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay. One more for
Yeah,
this
one
one.
more.
Okay. Let's see. Let me give you a good
Yeah, pick a random.
one. All right. How about this? Buy or buy. Mm. Okay. How about this? Booking a weekend trip to reset your nervous system. Are you going to purchase that ticket or are you going to say goodbye to it?
So I understand there's value on both sides of this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like maybe you
Yeah.
need the rest so that you can reset and you can be good, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe are we running away from a problem? Are we putting our head in the sand
Mm.
financially because you definitely can't afford it, but you're going to do it
Right.
anyway? But sometimes
How does
there's a
that work?
value to doing that, right? Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
like, you just need a break. So I personally don't
Yeah.
think I could. Well, sometimes I look at it as like, well, it's an investment in myself. Maybe I'll film content and like, it'll make, things get paid in the end. You
I'm
know
gonna
what I
make it
mean?
work,
Sometimes,
right?
yeah, like sometimes I can be a little bit like, I'll make it work, right? But
Yes,
for the
yeah.
most part, I would say 9 times out of 10 for me,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to really enjoy that trip
Mm-hmm.
if I knew I couldn't pay for it.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm
Yes.
in a place where I know I can't afford this trip, I'm not going
Right.
on this trip. If I'm in a
Thank
place
you.
where,
She's
yeah,
smart
I
and
could swing
responsible.
it,
Mm-hmm.
I could swing it. Like maybe I'll dip into my savings this month to cover everything on the credit card bill, but I've got it. I'm good,
Mm-hmm.
Then that's when I would be like, yeah, maybe it's worth taking a weekend to like reset. You're going to shoot it for content anyway. # business expenses,
Hello.
# tax write off. There's, ways to make it work. But unless it's like a very clear, like, yeah, I can pretty much swing this,
Mm-hmm.
it's not happening. It would stress me out
Heard
too
you.
much. It would stress me out too
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that, I think because my thought is if you can't pay for it cash, you don't need to be going. But
Yeah.
there's always a workaround because for me, I'm just like, okay, you can book a weekend trip to Cabo,
Mm-hmm.
or you can maybe just do like an Airbnb in
Yeah.
in a place that's
Yeah.
maybe like an hour or two from you
You can
or whatever.
scale things
You can
back.
scale it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, maybe you do need some new scenery to kind of reset your mind and all that type of stuff. But maybe just do it in a way that you can afford it. And
Yeah.
in that case, it is important. It is important to rest and kind of reset, unplug, and
Yeah.
take yourself out of your current type situation and put yourself in a new environment where it sparks creativity or inspiration or just newness.
Yes.
So
You
and
can
you can
also
do that in so many ways.
Yes. I mean, you could also like literally, go to a different place where you live, right? Like if you usually
Yeah.
spend every day here, I'm
Yes.
going to go over to this section of the
I'm gonna
town or
try
this
this.
like
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. There's all like from the most luxurious thing to the most cost effective
Yeah.
thing. You can do something to um what's the word? Alleviate whatever like pain or stressor that it is on your level,
Yes.
And I think that's the fun part about life. Like yeah, we all have like, oh man, yeah, I want to take a trip to Greece because I need a break.
Yeah.
Like right, great. Don't we all? But in that same regard, it's just like, you know what? I did something different. And instead of me going to the cafe I always go to on these 2 days out of the week, I went to a new spot and then I treated myself to a $7 latte
$7
because that's what I
latte.
love.
Because I didn't go to Cabo, so I bought a
Because I
latte.
didn't go to Cabo.
Do you see what I mean? It's a tiny luxury that you can
It's the
give
tiny
yourself
things.
when you're deciding not to go and do all the stuff you really want
Right.
to. Or you could always just
Exactly.
book the thing and do a balance transfer to a non-interest based credit card for 24 months.
This is why this is
This
not
is not
a
financial advice podcast.
That's not what
You
we're
know what
here
I heard?
for.
I actually heard of this girl on TikTok where she got
Yeah.
a loan from the bank for like X amount of money and used the money to do like a European vacation in the summer for like 3 months.
Okay.
And then her plan was to shoot all the content and do all the things and post and become a travel influencer.
Wow.
No word on how that worked out for her.
Oh, I thought you had a I was like, oh my gosh, and she made it happen. She
Honestly,
got a partnership, a
She
deal.
probably did. I'm sure. That stuff can
Wow.
happen so quickly. Like, also not for
Oof.
nothing, it has a lot to do with like what you look like, how fast you become
yeah.
famous, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
It's very layered.
oh
I love
yes,
that.
yeah,
That's
very
really good.
fun. Oh,
Yeah.
we love a game,
So good.
guys. Let
We
us
love a
know in
game.
in the comments if you guys had different opinions from us, or if you have
Yes.
different justifications for why you would do or not do something.
Yes, please let us know because that's interesting.
Yeah, I love it. We have one more game that we can play because I think everyone knows this is like a holdover from Ellyn with a Y. I love a would you rather.
Oh yes, that's right.
I love a would you rather. I asked some of the most insane but silly, like completely silly. Like, would you rather like, I don't know, drown in ketchup or mustard? Like you're drowning either way, but which way?
But which way? Do you want to enjoy it? Or
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you might be enjoying both. Personally, for me, I You'd be dying. I mean, it's horrible. That's a horrible way to think. Like,
That's horrible.
isn't that horrible?
First of all, why am I in a vat of mustard and ketchup? Who knows?
You know,
It could be any. That's interesting.
Oscar Murder Wiener is the name
I'm
of the
gonna say
movie.
ketchup. That's all I'm gonna.
Yeah, and
Mine
it's
would
like
be ketchup.
It's a murder mystery. Yours would be ketchup.
It would be ketchup.
Why?
Yeah. Because it's a little sweet. That's all I got.
No, literally, I'm like, because I like ketchup more than mustard. And
I
if
like
I'm gonna
ketchup.
go, maybe I'll have
Yeah.
a taste of it in my mouth on the
If
way
it was
out.
honey mustard,
Oh, I would dive in.
then honey mustard.
At first.
That's for me.
Yeah,
okay?
that honey mustard that they had
honey mustard
on campus in college, that honey mustard from the
Oh my
pump.
gosh,
Dude, this is sick. I would
girl,
dip
the
pizza.
gold. Are you talking about the gold sauce? Oh no, the honey
There's
mustard.
two different things.
Yes.
I love them both. I love
The
them
gold
both.
sauce was pop.
Golden
Shout out to
barbecue
University of Hartford.
sauce.
Yeah.
If you don't know what golden barbecue sauce is, I think it's like a southeastern U.S. type thing. It's amazing. And then
So good.
the honey mustard, the Heinz honey
Yes,
mustard.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, so good.
I used to dip
and
my
they sell
pizza
that.
in that. I would dip pizza in it.
Interesting.
You know, and you know what? At first I was
Pizza and
ashamed,
honey
and then I
mustard.
said, everyone dips ranch. Everyone dips their pizza in
oh,
ranch. I can
love
dip my
ranch.
pizza in whatever I want to dip my
Love
pizza
blue
in.
cheese.
I love dipping
Yes,
my
you
pizza
can.
in blue cheese as well. # Domino's. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
That's where that started.
All right.
Okay, so would you rather
Okay.
financial edition? Okay, so we're gonna do
Yes.
like little financial twists. Oh, Olive, I
Mm.
know. You want to come on the show? Do you want to come
Hey,
on the podcast?
Olive.
Here.
Yes, join the podcast, girl.
Come on the podcast. Nope.
Olive, know why?
Olive with no why.
She didn't want to come? Oh, okay.
Couldn't afford her rate.
All right. Next time. We're going to build it up.
Next time. Okay, here we go. Here are some hypothetical would you
Okay.
rathers. Okay.
All right. Oof.
Would you rather max out a credit card to fund your dream project
Mhm.
or have a fully funded project that flops publicly?
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
And you don't know if the one that you max out your credit card
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
say
If it wasn't successful, like, can I pay it back?
question mark. It's unclear.
It sounds like, ooh.
It's fear versus
I don't
risk.
like either of these.
Fear versus risk. Because you're fearing that you're not going to work out. Or you're
Okay.
risking.
Okay.
Risking
max out
yourself
a credit card
publicly. Shame.
Shame, guilt,
Shame.
embarrassment.
Public humiliation. Or
Oh, canceled.
privately, tanking your credit score, essentially.
Right, for your future.
Yeah.
You know what? Fully funded project that flops publicly.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because that can be, I mean, a flop is not as big as I'm not thinking like Fire Festival flop, but
You know he's doing another one?
yes, I do. I have heard about that.
Psychotic.
But when I think about it, like if you're maxing out a card to fund like a dream project, it seems like it's not well thought out. And it seems like maybe it's vain. Just from the little bit that we have here, like
That is
there could be a bunch of hypotheticals.
That is so funny. This is what is so. This is why I love Would You Rather's. It's because it's just how you look at it, like how you see it, and how you like your life and your data that you've collected in life, like makes you see this way. And then like me, and again, and like here's two best friends, right?
Yeah.
I see them so differently.
Wow. Okay,
Isn't
so
that
I want to
wild?
hear. That is amazing.
I love it. I
So,
love it.
I want to hear what your take is, but let me tell you why.
Yeah, I want to hear yours more.
I'm not scared of the fully funded project that flops.
Yes.
I think depending on who you are, like if you, first of all, failure is, you're going to fail. Some things are not going to always go as planned, but at least with that, it's just like, I guess if you have that air about it, like not everything's going to be a freaking knockout of the park.
Yeah.
So, okay, but it's already funded and whatever. We kind of, it is what it is. It was already money spent and it's done. I feel like if you have if you had the, if you're maxing out your card, so like it didn't tell us whether it was successful or not, but now you have to work on the back end to like pay this thing off or whatever. And maybe you look like you're doing great and you're living the dream, but it's like behind the scenes, you're under pressure or,
Yeah.
like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, let that junk flop, whatever. It's a drop in the bucket. I got ideas out the wazoo.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your take?
I kind of see them. I see them both ways, right? Like, so if you were fully funded and it flops, like publicly, it's like, you're right. Like, you shouldn't have a fear of failure. And honestly, you probably have really good connections if you were able to get fully funded. So you'll probably be able to get funded again.
Exactly.
Whereas with the maxing out your credit card, then there's also the like, there is that like public shame of failing that I feel like I'm so averse to failure and public shame and town square shame,
Town square.
I kind of am like, I am very conscious of that in myself. I think also like maxing out a credit card to fund your dream project, it's a very like nobody knows type thing. So it kind of leans into like, it's happening, but nobody knows. So there's an element of that I like. Exactly. But then there's also the element of sometimes nobody believes in your dream. So you do have to fund it yourself, but you believe in it enough to know it's going to work. Like I know I have something and I have unbelievable, unshakable faith in myself and in this project that this is going to become something. So I don't care what it takes. I am going to do it. And that's where I kind of am like, are you willing to like put your house on it? Are you willing to max out your credit card? Are you like, what are you willing to do? Because if you believe in it that much, that's kind of like where my head is at. It's like,
I gotcha. Okay.
Come hell or high water, this is happening.
This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear that.
So it's kind of like
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting, just the different perspectives on it.
Yeah, exactly. And even like the story that or like the picture that you're painting with that one. It's like, oh well, I maxed out my credit card because no one else believed in it, but I believe in it. Like no one knows what I see. They don't have the vision that I have for this thing. And I get that. I guess with me, I'm just, and I believe in that. I totally believe in that. And I feel like, I guess the credit card thing is psyching me out because I'm just like, girl, don't go into debt for it. Like we could do something else for it.
Yeah, literally. Like get a loan. Get a loan.
Yeah, like, well, yeah. Okay.
I know. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny? I love it. That is. I love it.
Okay.
What do we? Oh no, you go now. Was it me or was it you? You go.
No, I'll give you one now.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather live on rice and beans for a month while launching a business or work a stable job you dread for a year? 1 year.
1, 2, 3.
Rice and beans.
Okay. I had a professor at the University of Hartford who believed that we could cure world hunger on rice and beans.
Okay.
And I used to debate and spar with him in class. And he was this like old skeletal looking man who wore like jeans that were too short on him. And he would wear them to the gym and facility and like work out in jeans and like his polo from class with his belt on and everything and his little Skechers. And he really believed that like we should turn Jangris into a homeless shelter at night.
What?
And feed them rice and beans. Feed the homeless rice and beans. He's like, we could cure that here in our own city right now. And I was like, you're saying we could do it, but who funds this university? Me, myself, and I, my guy.
It's me.
I was like, that's my money that's doing this. I was like, unless you have some, and that was, again, I was thinking from a different headspace when I had first started college. It's funny. I can see that so clearly now. How I was thinking so differently back then. But at the end of the day, I did used to be like, no. Like I underwrite this place. Like
I bought this.
Yeah. That's why it's so funny because I used to just be like, if I this didn't happen, but in my mind, I'd be like, you're going to give me a bad grade? I'm going to fire you. You're not getting paid. Like in my mind, I'd be like, you're my employee. Who funds the bills here?
So
It's such a messed up mentality when you think about college and you're like
oof,
begging someone
it
to give you a good
is.
grade and you're trying so hard and like you don't want to get in trouble with anybody and you want to like do a good, you want to be a good. I'm like, I am the boss. I'm the one who pays the bills here.
You're gonna give me the grade I tell you
Are
to
you
give
kidding
me.
I'm not going to pay. I'm going to be
Oh
delinquent.
man.
Oh, so
I
insane.
love
That was just an
that.
insane comedy bit I used to think about in college all the time.
Yeah, right. I mean, oof.
So yes, I would easily, happily survive on rice and beans. The dread that you feel going to a job that is not
Yes.
something that you're happy with
Mhm.
is actually like will suffocate you and kill you. Like it's honestly, it's like horrible
It's
for
insufferable.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And rice
it's
and
not
beans is
okay.
delicious.
First of all, that was like, what's wrong with rice and beans?
You know what? It has undercurrents of racism, this question. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, they could have said oatmeal.
Or peanut butter and jelly.
Or peanut butter and jelly. Racism. We have to tell
Okay.
ChatGPT that it gave us a racist question.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
it's
Don't let them
making-
know where we got our questions.
Yeah. Or are we ascribing racism to? Are we saying that
right? Because
rice
I'm
and
just
beans-
like rice and beans. I'm like pinto beans. That is, I mean, like,
I would go black
I'm
beans.
thinking-
I would go black beans.
Oh,
Unless it was refried
I love
beans.
all beans. I love lima beans.
No.
I love beans.
No,
What?
what's the bean that they eat at Christmas at my house?
Cannellini.
Cannellini, okay. Garbanzo, aka
Yeah, I like chickpeas.
chickpeas. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name.
I didn't even. Okay, yeah.
No, what's the one that my
Kidney.
family eats at Christmas? It's the salty.
It's not kidney beans.
No, it's like a salty bean that you have to like pull the bean out of. Salty Christmas bean Italian.
Oh, this is news to me.
Is it a Christmas lima bean? No.
You have to pull
No.
the bean.
Lupinis.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What is a lupini bean? My Aunt Grace is listening to this right now, like screaming. What is a lupini?
What is a lupini?
It's a type of
They've taught you
legume
nothing.
popular in Mediterranean region and beyond. My family eats these at Christmas. And they're
I'm
these
not familiar
little
with this at all.
Yeah, it's this little thing and you basically like
Pickled.
push it out.
Oh, I've seen the pickled ones in a jar.
Have you?
I have seen this at the grocery store.
Yeah. And my family loves them. Julie
never
likes
seen
them. Aunt Gray, everybody likes them. I don't like them.
Oh, so they just pop the seed. So do you like do it with your hand?
You like it's like like you just hold it, pull it out, and then discard of like the husk.
Interesting.
Yeah, like kind of. It's not like edamame, but it's the same like pick up, eat,
Gotcha.
put down, shell
same
carcass thing.
Not a
Yeah.
carcass.
Oh my God. One
It's
time,
not a carcass.
Sam's gonna die laughing. One of my friends who listens to the podcast. Well, you know Sam.
Yes.
We were out to dinner like the first time I was meeting her now husband, and we were eating edamame, and I don't think he had like had edamame before, which very normal. If you've never had edamame, you would not know. He ate the edamame whole.
Oh.
And we were like, no, spit it out. Spit it
Take
out.
out the
It's not like you couldn't. Like, obviously, you can chew through a lot.
Could. Yeah.
You can chew through a lot. But it was we were just like, oh, no. I love that.
Funny.
That makes me laugh.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't think. I think it's what you think of rice and beans.
Yeah, like maybe well, also rice and beans is a whole meal. That's why the professor was saying
a whole
that.
Meal. Exactly.
It actually gives you everything you need. Fat, carbohydrates. It gives you everything you need.
It does. It does.
Oh my God. Should I go on a rice and beans diet just to see what happens?
I mean,
I feel like I'd have to eat a lot to be full. Maybe not.
Would you? I don't think so.
It's a complex carb. It's a complex protein.
A complex carb. That's right.
I think it has omega-3s for the fat. I think you'd honestly
you the fat. What are you talking?
The beans. Beans have a fat.
Okay.
Not a lot, I don't think, but they definitely have a fat content.
Think they have a lot. Okay. All
All right. So if we were to
That's
eat rice and
interesting.
beans for a month, I could do that. I could eat any. I hyper fixate on meals all the time. I could eat
I
beans.
love
Yeah.
rice and beans. I
Yeah.
mean, so that's fine
Saute
for
the
me.
rice and the beans.
And launch a business that I love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it doesn't say that you love
Because-
it, but.
Well, why am I launching it if I don't love it? But I would do that over even just for a year. A job that you dread
I
waking
thought you
up.
said rice and beans for a year.
No, but waking up every day to a job that you dread for 365
Mm-mm.
and you have the Sunday scaries for 52 weeks.
No.
Think about your
It
mental
would-
health.
I mean, it would have
Okay?
to be a big paycheck.
Yeah,
Big.
a big one.
Unlimited vacation
Like
and
a
sick
really,
days.
really, meaning I don't really have to work at all.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
That's funny.
Okay. Wow. So one more the would you rathers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
Go
see.
ahead.
Which one? Oh, okay.
Dang.
I think this is one that we both kind of were like, huh.
Okay.
Would you rather get $1,000 a month steady
Mm-hmm.
from a gig, a job,
Okay.
or get $10,000 right now deposited into your bank account and you don't know where it came from?
And I'm getting this $1,000 for the rest of my life?
No, for the next 12 months.
Okay.
And it's a gig. It's like a gig. Like you're getting it because you've booked a client type thing. Steady.
Do I have to work every month?
It's a steady $1,000 that you have to work for every month, but it's a steady income every month, $1,000 for this client. Or just have 10,000 just dropped into your bank account today. And you don't know where it came from. And you don't have to worry about taxes or IRS or anything. It just, there's 10,000.
Well, first of all, this is a dream. Okay. They just drop money. You don't know where it came from. You don't have anyone to report it to.
No.
Just take it.
Did you ever watch did you watch White Lotus?
No, not yet. Not yet.
There's a character who gets a lot of money wired into a bank account and everyone's like, the government is going to come for you if you get that much wired into your bank account out of nowhere. And there's no way to say how or where or how are you going to claim that on your taxes? So it's it was doing like a where are they now? You know, at the end of a show when it's like, you know, Aja went on to become, the next at the end of it, it was just like she got audited by the IRS.
And she went to jail.
Oh my God.
Oh man!
And the guy who paid her off is still living large
because he was able to give that amount of money anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like with all of the information that you just shared, I'm just going to take the $1,000 because it makes sense. I did a gig. I have this recurring income for a year, and it's steady, and it's $2,000 more than the $10,000 when it's all said and done.
That is a really good point. I was listening to a podcast where I forget the real, the whole of it all, but the gist was essentially that this day and age, people are much more willing to take a 10.
Yeah,
take
exactly.
The 10
for instant gratification.
And also because the future is so unknown and so volatile, they would rather take less in the upfront, guaranteed, than take more over the long period of time. Because they don't trust.
Let's see.
In this situation, it's concrete.
It's guaranteed. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think, so in my mind, I was thinking, it's $1,000. Well, then in that case, I don't know if I want any of this.
Yeah. It's like you never, like, that's life.
If it's guaranteed $1,000 for the rest of the year, for a year or whatever, then, and guaranteed either $10,000 in your account tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would say the $1,000 because, and I think you had started to say like people would take the 10 because the future is so volatile and uncertain.
Yes.
But that's why you should take the 1,000 over the year because at least that you will get that, whatever, and you're gonna have more, and it also, I guess, it depends on like what you need today.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's also like, what is it? How do lottery winners, they say you should take the payout over time
you
instead of,
should.
or no, they say
Exactly.
take the payout over time. No, they say take the lump sum because you'll earn more interest on the lump sum than you can by doing the
More
payout over
interest.
time
Oh, like if you put it into a high
in
yield.
high yield, or if you
Well,
start
that's
putting it
true.
into,
That's true.
stocks, like, and stuff. Because if you gave me
Oh.
10K right now and I put it into the stock market and came back in a year, it could be 30K.
Absolutely.
Or,
sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
So you never know. Also, I would use it now because I need it now, but
Want it
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's my money and I want it now.
And
What's
I
that
want
ad?
it now. And you need cash.
Cash now. Yeah. Yes. It's my money and I want it now. And I'll do what I want with it.
That's interesting. And she's gonna do the 10K. I mean, I thought about that too when we first talked about that. I was like, oh, if you get the 10K and you put that into a high yield, at least it's just.
You're going to wind up having to pay taxes
It
on what you're
depends.
yielding. That's enough
But
to yield.
yeah, I don't know.
I think like I just think it depends.
It depends.
I think it depends
A
on
lot
like
of these are
your actual current
contingent.
situation. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right,
A lot of these are
ladies and
contingent on your
gentlemen
current.
listening to the podcast, comment in the comment section what you would do for that last question because it is so
Yes.
very unique, right? Like,
It
are you
is, yeah.
taking the
You
1,000
could
a
take
month?
it a bunch of different ways.
Or are you going to take that 10K upfront payout? Let us know. And then you can at Venmo us each 10%
Whichever way you
of
go.
whichever you take. Let us know which you pick and we'll send you one of our 10-cent abundance candles. And you'll get 10 cents after you burn your candle of abundance.
The 10.25. We could do the 10.25.
Hey, you never know what you're going to get in one of the abundance candles.
Man.
It could be 10 cents, $10, or 10,000 pesos.
Okay.
And that's
Boom.
on the exchange rate being really good between Mexico and America and US dollars.
Oh gosh, I can't. But please let us know because
See, you guys can have fun with finances.
Fun with finances.
Fun with finances, okay?
Yes.
I don't know
that
if
was
that's
a backwards F.
Oh, okay.
But
I wasn't sure which way that was going to show up.
that's it. Yeah.
Fun with finances, okay, people?
Oh man, that's what we teach you around here.
Yes.
Change your attitude and you change everything.
It's
Have
true.
fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, everybody,
that's so good.
ladies and gents, thank you so much for listening to this podcast.
Oh my gosh. And we end just how we started. Okay?
I love it.
Always
Circle.
a full circle.
It is.
Always.
It's true. It's true. I love it.
Always with us.
Thanks everybody for listening. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. If you want us to have a major cash windfall, you will do that.
Yes.
Send this to 5 people if you want to make $1,000 this month.
Not an online chain letter, right?
We're going to do an online chain email via podcast.
Send
this to 10 people if you don't want to be cursed financially for the rest of your life.
That is so good.
Oh,
listen,
my Lanta.
Okay, you better listen.
That's why they pay me the medium bucks. No, the big bucks. Positive cash flow.
That's right. Positive cash flow. Ellyn. That's her name.
Yes. All right.
Ellyn Positive Cash Flow with a Y.
Yes, Ellyn. That's my third Instagram that I launched. Ellyn Positive Cash Flow, giving unreliable financial advice. Reliably. Consistently delivering unreliable financial advice. Well,
oh my God.
Thank you all so much. This was so fun. And I always am so grateful that we do this after I'm laughing for forever. So thank you, Aja, for investing your time with me here this afternoon.
And thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your time with us. We always appreciate your ear. And like we said, please comment as you work your way through the podcast episode. Share with us your choices for would you rather buy or buy. We love that.
Rice and beans.
Rice and beans, okay? Rice and beans love, okay? Whether it's lupini, lima beans, kidney beans, black beans, jasmine rice, basmati rice. Like,
I
come on.
love chili with just beans,
Love.
to be honest. No
Chili
meat.
with beans. Oh, no
Yeah.
meat.
I
Okay.
could do it either way. I love it.
Me too. I really love
Do you
beans.
get condiments if you're doing rice and beans? Like when we still like put things with
Hot
it?
sauce. Yeah, for
I would
sure.
assume, right? Like
I'm
hot
gonna say
sauce,
yes.
like salsa, maybe a little guacamole.
Ooh.
You know, like toppings, I'm
Guac.
thinking. You
Toppings
know?
for sure.
Like nothing
Come
else
on.
but toppings.
Get fancy.
You
A little
know?
bit of cheese.
Kalamata olives, a little
Depending on
feta.
which.
Make it, you
Ooh.
know, some lemon juice. You know, go Greek.
Go
You know?
Greek.
Go Greek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that.
Go Greek. For Hartford. Go Greek.
Oh my gosh. That would be good. Sounds great to me. No problem.
I'm hungry. I gotta go eat.
Yes, same. And on that note, ladies,
All right.
gents,
Thanks, everyone.
enjoy your week. We love you.
Love you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
The Regents podcast. The Regents podcast.
Guys, the amount of like cash and car like jingles like 1-877 cars for kids. KRS cars for
Cars
kids.
for kids.
So
Ooh, collect your cars today.